When most people see a prostitute on the street, you know, they see a prostitute, they don't see beyond that. I see the other things, addictions, abuse issues. I see the hurt. That was my life. You know, that's something that's so hard to get away from, and I got away from it. It's got to get better. You know, it certainly couldn't get any worse than it has been. My name is Donna. I'm 34 and I have 6 kids. 4 are being raised by others, 2 are at home with me, my babies. I have 2 grandchildren, and my daughter Lindsay, my second oldest, is pregnant again. So she's due soon. All my life, all I wanted to do was be a part of the community. Now I am. I'm a working part of the community, and there's a lot of addicts who want to be that.
You know, and if anybody gets any kind of reaction from anything that I might share, please talk to your school counselor, your teacher, Marlene, anybody you might trust. I actually met Marlene in 1991, so it's 9 years. I remember when I met her, I was an angry woman. I sat back and, you know, she's got her Woody and her condoms, and she's gonna show me how to put a condom on. You can't tell a hooker how to put a condom on, honey. I know how to put a condom on, you know? You know, I walk into a lot of schools and a lot of kids, some kids will be sitting there and they'll be looking at me. And I know what they're saying. They're saying, you ain't got nothing to teach me. You ain't got nothing to say to me. I ain't listening to you, you old bag. That's what you're thinking, eh? All of you guys that are saying, you guys are forgetting I'm a gamble woman. I started using intravenous drugs. Anybody know what that is? No? Needles? Needles? Yeah, needles. I started fixing when I was 17, and you know what? I didn't plan on that either. When I was a little kid, sitting in the tree house there, I never said, you know what? Candace is my cousin. We used to play in a tree house. I never sat there and looked at Candace and said, you know what, Candace? I think when I grow up, I'll be a hooker. I think when I grow up, I'll become a junkie. I think that when I grow up, I'll become a drunk so bad that I'll look like everybody else in my family. I never grew up thinking that. I never thought I would ever become that. I didn't choose to be that. I ended up there because of my choosing to drink and putting myself in situations. I lucked out because my creator believed that it was time for me to quit, and I was supported by a whole bunch of people.
Now, some guys, we were just saying earlier, complain, well, that won't fit me, you know? And the truth of the matter is, I need a guy's arm. Your arm is good. Okay. Give me a guy's arm. These ones are good condoms, okay?
That's really gonna hurt.
And you put it on, and always remember, guys, get comfortable with your penis. Okay? Get comfortable with your penis.
What if it breaks like that?
Well, you know what? You're not gonna have it on your hand. 7:30, I gotta go to a meeting.
Janine, I need your help.
Are you gonna help your brother?
With my bedroom. Clean with me, and then it will be more faster. Aren't we gonna wreck us? Yeah. If you help me, yeah.
Janine. Actually, I like working with people, you know, street people, people who are outside of society's sort of ring, because I feel more comfortable there. You know, it's where I grew up, was outside of the ring. So going into the correctional is like going home. think I'm going to be full-time in April as an outreach worker. I feel the work I'm doing is important, not just to me, but to the people I talk to.
Like, I haven't been home for 7 years, 8 years, and a lot of people, they don't know the difference, eh?
Yeah.
I know that's one of the reasons I'm scared to go home, though, eh? Is because a lot of people, they don't know the difference, eh? Between AIDS and HIV. Yeah. Half those people, they think I'm dead already, eh? So, I'm facing a big obstacle here.
Well, you show them. If you need your family down, we can help you out that way. You know? To look at me, you wouldn't know that I was a hooker. To look at me, you wouldn't know that I'm a junkie. I still carry like the scars, right?
Yeah.
When you're thinking about hookers, you know, we're not a bunch of nymphomaniacs. We're your sisters, your mothers, your cousins.
What happened that you just said enough's enough, and you know, what was your turning point? What happened to you in your life that you said, okay, enough's enough. I'm not gonna go out there in the corner. I'm not gonna ram needles in my arm.
Yeah. This lady walked up to me and she said, can I give you a hug? Number one, women didn't want nothing to do with me, not normal women. And this woman walked up to me and she said, can I give you a hug? All of a sudden I thought, you know, if she could hug me, you know, maybe other people will talk to me, want to talk to me and want to hear me out. What I tell people coming off the street, you know what, don't expect to clean up right away, and don't expect to be happy right away. In fact, it takes a long time because, you know, if you carry a lot of rage like I have, it's going to take a long time. Like even to this day, it's like 6 years later, and I just, some days, you know, and but what I do know, the awareness today is, I know behind that rage is a lot of pain, and not just me, it's the girl who was never listened to, because sometimes I can even visualize that little girl, you know, the uncles put them on the knee, stick the hand up the dress, or, you know, times when my mother kicked me around because the house wasn't clean after she was gone for 2 weeks, leaving me with my brothers and sister, you know. So I got a lot of things to deal with, and you know, that's all going to be a process. And for people to expect that street people especially are going to get happy-go-lucky all of a sudden, you know, no. As a little girl, I was given change all the time. I was given $1 or, you know, a little bit of change, you know, and my, quote, uncles used to touch me and, you know, sexually abuse me or molest me, you know, and then they would give me money to pass it over, to ease their guilt, you know, and as a child, you know, I would run to the store and I eat to make it better. She really enjoys working with people, and whatever she does, I'm behind her. Like, you know, and all the garbage that went through when she was a little girl till when she started straightening her life out, we dealt with all that, like me and her. We sat together and she told me how I hurted her, and me in return. And I think that's the best thing we ever did. Because today she's more than a daughter, she's my best friend.
Hi, this is Donna, and yes, I'm getting married Saturday the 25th at 1 p.m. Reception is to start at 3, and the dance is at 6.
Oh man! Okay, now what do I do?
You wait.
My ideal dream was when my kids are grown, my grandchildren might come visit me, but I would have a cabin, you know, old wood stove, and the big garden, my own garden, so I can play around in there, and I would write a book. And I met Joe at the Wapayton Sundance, and I think we got together because we both have a past.
We have come together this afternoon to witness the marriage of Joseph Whitehead and Donna Lynn Gamble according to the Marriage Act of Saskatchewan. Marriage is a time-honored institution based upon traditions of law and social custom. It's a partnership of two people devoted to one another. A partnership sustained by
Joseph Whitehead.
To be my lawful wedded husband.
To be my lawful wedded husband.
As as you have exchanged rings as a token of your love and affection for one another, by virtue of the powers vested in me under the Marriage Act, I do now hereby pronounce you Joseph Whitehead and Donna Lynn Gamble to now be husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
You can breathe now, Joe.
All of this and my dream coming true, eh? And I love my man. And when he said I do, I almost fainted because I didn't know if he would.
I want to say to my adopted son, never lay a hand on her. Like, never lay a hand on her. That's one thing. That's one big teaching that I've been carrying. That the men love their wife, because the abuse is so far, and we are the people to break that cycle.
My auntie took me out to dance, and I did, and I remember I cried when I first went around because it was really overwhelming. Probably the greatest high I ever had without chemicals. Dancing has helped me put focus somewhere. Like, a lot of people, when they get straight, Aboriginal people especially, figure that life ends when the party stops. And it doesn't. Like, I have a whole new party going on here. I could go into a powwow feeling like I don't belong, and then I'll have all these old ladies who will come up to me and give me a hug and a kiss, like they've become my family. Young people are saying hi to me. Couples are, calling me over and, talking to me, and it's a family. Like, I had a street family. I had a street family for years, and that'd probably be the biggest reason why I wouldn't leave the street. Now I have a powwow family, like a round dance family, and they're the most support to me, and they're the reason I keep coming back.
Al? Alvin? Ginny? Do they serve Vico at school? You don't want butter on your toast?
Both my babies are recovery babies because, Janine remembers some things. Out of the blue, she might say, well, I remember somebody with needles, because she was around when I started again. And I don't know if she remembers about the drinking, but she was very small, like she was about 18 months, 2 years old.
Is that you who last went to the bathroom? Yeah. Did you lift the toilet? See?
You're a good boy. You're learning, my boy, you're learning. This year I learned a little bit about FAS, and I wonder if maybe that's a part of it. He's a recovery baby, I guess, plain and simple, and I know he's not comfortable with a lot of people around, and he gets overexcited and does and says things that aren't appropriate. I could say that I probably drank. I don't know, I did drink. And the other thing too is I used, like drugs, it just happened. Like someone offered me a cap and I thought, oh, I'll just have one fix. And I was on my way. Like I had that one, and like $1,200 later, like I was gone, and of course then I couldn't quit, and I didn't quit, and right until he was born, I induced my labor with all the, R's and coke that I was using. Like I got bad, and with him it worries me more because I was on drugs with him. So like with Alvin, I just work really hard. I try to have patience. I really do. I really work hard at being patient. So much. Me first. Hope you have a good afternoon, my boy. Hey. Okay. You want to say the prayer that they taught you?
I met my birth mother, Donna, when I was 16. Like, the post-adoption worker, she came and saw me one day, told me that she thinks she found the woman that is my birth mother. So she had me write a letter. A couple weeks later, I got a letter back, and it was like, obviously my mother, a bunch of pictures, and she had her phone number, and the staff at Dojak let me call her. And I don't know, she did all the talking the first phone call. I just didn't know what to say. And then about a week later, they let her come visit me. And she came in, and we just hugged each other and cried, and I just kept looking at her. I just remember, like, I had to memorize every characteristic she had, because it was just, I don't know, unreal to finally know where you're from or whatever. I'm the oldest, and then the one after me, my kokum has custody of her. And then the two after that, they both are adopted. So, I don't know. It kind of speaks for itself. I don't know.
For me, it's sort of really agitating, to see her. She's supposed to be my older sister, and it's like I'm the older one. Sort of figured out I had this whole different family that I didn't even know about. Like, I had 5 sisters, like 4 sisters and 1 brother, and well, where did they come from? Sort of thing. It's just really weird.
Well, I took the kids in, and then got a call, and so I waited around, and then I got another call from the school today. My son got rowdy and got suspended, so I had to go in and deal with that. my kids, and I think, you know, I'm growing up like them, with them, I should say. For the first time in my life, someone told me I was qualified, and my boss was really good to me. During our interview, she said, well, frankly, I think you're more qualified than most. And she actually made me cry. I cried because that was the first time anybody ever told me that I was qualified. Hi, is Bernice? This is Donna Gamble calling again. I needed to know the dates for... Okay, I'd like to welcome you to this diversion program for prostitutes. Now, this ain't a punishment program. This is to help, like, you know, the girls off of the street, to help them give some choices to what they might want to do. We've all done things we're ashamed of, and if you thought really hard and thought about some of the things you've done when you're drunk or when you're high, you know, we're not different. The incidents may be different, but we're all the same. We've all brought ourselves down to a point where you're here. Okay, we started off with the intro. What we're going to do is start off with the elder. Now, I chose this elder not because she's my mother. Number one, she's a former prostitute herself, you know, and she's been off the street for a long, long time. She's taking a ChemDep course right now in her second year at SciAst. So I'll let it go with that. My mother, Sylvia.
I'm Sylvia, and my dad was an alcoholic. I was being sexually molested by him at a very early age, as far back as I can remember, when I was 5 years old. And from then on, like, you know, it seems like as I was growing up, everybody was doing it. And one day I told my mom what was happening, and she told me that I was asking for it. That's why these things were happening for me, because I was such a little bee, like, you know. And so after that, I kept my mouth shut. Every time something would happen, I wouldn't tell nobody. I kept it inside me. My mom seemed to used to leave all the time, and I'd have to stay alone with my dad. And I couldn't figure out why she couldn't take me, because my little brother always went with her, but she never took me along. And I used to, every time I'd see her drive away with a team of horses at that time, like, you know, I used to get this scared feeling, just like a knot in my stomach. I wanted to get sick, because I knew what was in store for me once she was out of sight. When about 11 years old, I had a nervous breakdown. And because of all these things happening, I guess, after that I had to leave. I had to leave home. The doctor said that I couldn't stay at my home anymore. So they sent me away. They sent me to Saskatoon. All I wanted was someone to love me, because I was a kid. Like, you know, I wanted someone to hug me and say that I was okay. I'd stop at this one cafe in Saskatoon, and just to have a coffee or a Coke, like, you know, before I went home. And that's what I did that one day. And these men walked in, 4 of them, and this big man, like, you know, he came straight for me, and I really got scared, because they were all half cut and talking loud. And this guy come and sat beside me anyway, and he said, he asked me what I was doing there. And I was just a little girl, like, and I didn't really know how to answer him. And then he told me that I was going to be his wife, but not that nice way. He told me that I was, you know, he was swearing and told me that I was going to be his wife, and that I had to stay put where I was sitting beside him. And he had me blocked so I couldn't get out. And I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know if I should yell for help. I thought if I yelled for help, I'll get myself in trouble. And he took me to his room. And when he got me in there, he stripped me. and he told me to get under blankets, and he said, that's where you're going to stay. And I was so scared. Like, you know, and everybody, all the guys in there was only guys there, and I was scared of them. I knew what was going to happen, and I was ready for it, because it wouldn't be the first time. And, but I, like, you know, after a while, towards morning, they were all falling asleep. So I thought, you know, I'll take off now, and I started looking for my clothes, and this man woke up, and he told me, like, you know, where in the F am I going? And he pulled me by the hair and threw me back on the bed. And that's how I started living with him. And they went and dropped me off on Avenue B and 20th in Saskatoon. And they told me what to do. You stand here, and if a car comes, and you tell them how much, and don't ever stay more than 10 minutes. That's all it'll take. And but take the money first. And one day, like, you know, when I was sorted, I was pregnant after 3 months, I told him, like, you know, I'm going to have a baby. And that's when Donna was born. And, like, you know, but all the time figuring I'll stay home with her and I'll look after her. That's all I need. And I thought maybe he wouldn't allow me to go out there anymore. But as soon as 1 month was passed, like, you know, he told me to get back out there. And after that, I had 6 kids in 5 years. He left me for this woman, and I was there with my children alone, and I didn't know what to do, because I didn't know nothing to be. Nobody taught me how to be a mother. Nobody taught me how to live. Like, you know, he was the one that was that was telling me what to do. Like, you know, he had my life in his palm like this. For a number of years, Donna was looking after her brothers and sister. I used to leave them for days at a time. I always wanted something to change, and I kept trying to kill me, because I hated me. I hated the life I was living. I phoned the social services and I told them to come and get her, because I was scared what I would do next. I was scared that I would kill my baby. And I did that to all of them.
The more I listen to my mother, the more I get to know, you know, and learn about my childhood. You know, because I didn't know my mom gave me up because she loved me and she was scared to hurt me. I didn't know she felt ashamed and guilty about what happened then. I always thought she just hated me. So I learned, you know, my mother has her own story. I learned, and it wasn't until I moved to Prince Albert and started working on some issues and sitting with my mom in a healing circle and hearing my mother actually talk about my mushum sexually abusing her, about him selling her to his friends for a six-pack of beer when she was a little girl. So then I understand, all of a sudden, she is like any other woman that I've stood on corners with. You know, and the understanding then is there. Okay, I'll let Lindsay take over now, and be nice. She's pregnant with my grandbaby. Come on, my girl.
For myself, I want the cycle to stop. I'm not out there, and I thank God for that too. Each and every day seeing kids out there, it hurts. And I'm only 17, and seeing these kids out there, it just hurts. And seeing all the pain on their faces that they try and hide. And the pain my mom went through, and my grandmother went through, and my sister's going through now. I got that pain, so I don't sort of just want to fix everything up for my family. When
I was younger, I used to walk around with my head down. I was very afraid. So I got put out because I didn't have enough courage to say, you know, screw you. You know, and then when I got on the street, you know, something happened. I snapped. I became the opposite of what I was when I was 11 years old. I became an angry person. All the anger I'd stuffed all my life, all of a sudden I'd strut around, I'd have my high heels on. People would look at me, what the fuck is your problem? You know? You know that. You've seen that happen. You know, but I became really mean and aggressive, and it kept everybody like this. My family didn't want nothing to do with me because I was disgusting. I was mean, and I was a pig. I was a whore. What would it matter if I became a pig? You know? And that's the way we carry, that's what we carry inside, and that's what keeps us out there for the longest time, is because of that belief that we're never ever going to be able to change, that we're never ever going to make that better. You know, even in recovery, I remember the first 2 years, I used to have my sponsor, the big wench from hell. She used to always tell me, it's what you did, it's not who you are. And you know what, I didn't understand that. It didn't click for the longest time in recovery, what she meant by it's what you did, it's not who you are.
I'm at the Woodline campus in Prince Albert, taking chemical dependency, and I'm working towards my certificate and my diploma. And so that I'm able to go out there and work with the people and understand more about addictions in drugs and alcohol and family problems. I see a lot of people in pain, and they don't think they have any chance in the world. Like, you know, the reason why I took this program is I went through all that garbage, I call it. And I too always thought that I'd never be able to amount to anything.
He's gone. He just left. He left. I made a mistake, and I knew it. The biggest reason why I married him was because I'm scared, you know, like I was raped in August, and you know, and I needed and wanted to be protected. I really did want happily ever after, though. Well, not happily ever after, but you know what? I waited 34 years because I really did want what every, quote, normal person wants. But I just made a mistake. It just hurt me and hurt him, like he could have been on his healing way. And you can't fall in love with somebody who's just beginning on a healing journey, especially coming out of jail. It's hard to have too much on your plate, you know, in doing so. I know, because I was in early recovery, you know, I still am, really. My mom gave me a book on relapse and recovery. Right, she's taking counseling, of course. Yeah. My mom, the ever so helpful lady. So she gave me this book, and like, cause I'm hitting my crunch in the past 2 weeks, like a major crunch, and well, it's been ongoing, but this was it. This is bottom line. And she came over with this book and slid it over to me, and I started reading it, and I said, "Oh, Mom, I already know I'm in relapse." You know, it's the point before you actually, it's the insanity. And I said, I already knew that, you know, but I was going through that and listlessness, that's a part of it, eh? And I can't sleep, and then I get into those marathons. I call them my lockdowns of what I've been going through lately. I call them lockdowns because I used to get locked up a lot when I was, 11. Even in foster home, like, shit. You go to your room. And that's why I don't like putting my kids in a room, eh? Because I used to have to go to my room and stay on my bed with my pajamas on. And I hated it. And Kilburn Hall, I acted up once, flip out once. They would put me in my cell for like 2 weeks. I was locked in my cell for 2 weeks the first time. And I just sort of got comfortable with it, It's like an addiction itself, I think, eh? Roy Wilson Center. If I misbehaved, I got locked down for a month. And that's when I'm a kid. I'm 12 years old, 13. So I just got used to it. Used to being locked up.
Tonight, we've invited a young lady from Beardy's, Donna Gamble. Could you please come up?
All right. I'd like to say first that I was really honored to come down south and speak at Gordon's. I won't go right into my whole life story because, a lot of us can probably relate. I come from a family where there was a lot of violence, and I have 6 children, 5 girls, 1 boy, and I have only my 2 youngest ones at home, so when I got sober and cleaned up and got off the street, I really didn't know how to be a mom, and I didn't know who to ask. And I was too proud to ask, because I was old enough, I figured I should know. I still have to deal with issues of sexual abuse. I have hepatitis C, and I get sick off and on. So I'm afraid. I'm afraid for my 10-year-old to walk down the street, and I thought of moving here, moving there, but there's nowhere safe. And all I can do, and all any of us can do as parents, as friends, is to pass on the information. I was telling the young men in these class, when you have to stick your knees in between a girl's legs, even if she is your girlfriend, even if she is your wife, it is not appropriate. If she said no right from the beginning, I don't want to do this, don't take it for granted. Because there's so many times, I don't even date no more. Like, I got married all for the wrong reasons because I wanted some kind of protection from men. I wanted somebody to look at me and say that I'm okay. So I got married to make it right, and it wasn't. I married somebody who's abusive. But the good news is people say it's a gamble thing, a stubbornness. But I chose to get out of it even though, I'm so afraid of being out here alone. And all I can do for my children is teach them, don't ever keep secrets, even the small ones. The ones you think, well, it doesn't matter. I've had secrets in my heart, my soul, all my life. And I don't know, I was sitting here and I was thinking, what am I gonna say? I actually waited a long time to be at a round dance and be able to speak as a woman, a young woman. I want men to see that I am hurting. I want men to know that there's women, a lot of women like me, young girls who want to love and give love, but don't want to be used. A lot of guys kind of scoff at that and say, yeah, whatever. But look to your mothers. How would you want your mothers to be treated? You think about that, and then you think about the way you treat the woman you're with or the woman you want to be with. Because they got heart, and you don't know where they come from. I don't want to take up a lot of the round dance. I thank you for listening to me. I'm really grateful that you asked me to be here, and I pray to God that I can come back. Thank you very much.
What happened with your job? I'm laid off. I thought of suicide a lot. I just think it's too late. I know it's too late. I don't. People, even elders, tell me that it's never too late. But you know, I have this feeling that it is. I don't really feel connected to my family right now. My mom's trying hard, but I don't know, for whatever reasons, I'm sort of back. And maybe because you know, maybe it seems kind of unrealistic, but I'm afraid and dying, you know, because people tell me, but you'll be all right, you know. I don't feel all right. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's I'm just being silly or whatever, I don't give a shit. It's real to me. It's real. And
okay, hold on.
breathe. Relax, 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 relax. Breathe. Okay, it's almost done. There you go.
Just can't wait till I get my baby in my arms. Yeah, my baby. Mommy's here. Mommy never leave you.
Here's Mom. We had a boy, you should have seen it. Already? You should have seen it. Oh, I can't go in there. Why? It's locked. No, we just tried it. No, you can get in there. Kim, not go. I want to go.
Oh, I just got that. 6 ounces?
You my Japan.
Yeah, maybe the 7 pounds, 8 ounces.
My Japan. He's my Japan. My baby, give me another baby.
She said I can't.
I'm not having any more kids.
That's what I said.
Let's see this. Look at little lips. Magoo. Yeah, you're another Mr. Magoo.
Jean-Claude Marcel or Jean-Claude?
I'm so proud of my mom. I know she's gonna go far. I just can't get over it. I'm so proud of her, my mom. I've talked to my mom, and like the hardest thing was actually telling my mom, look, I started drinking. Let's cut the bull, because she knew and I knew. Well, she had an idea, but she didn't really know for sure. And I knew she had an idea, and I felt like guilt. And finally, I just told her, look, I'm drinking. That's where it's at. And today, I didn't drink. And that's all I'm going to stick to. I had to start somewhere, and some people go to treatment, some people go to therapy, and some people travel. I shave my head. It's just, I don't know. I did it once before in 96. And I did it, I think mainly, I didn't know why I did it then, but at hindsight, I figured out it was because it was taking ownership of me, and part of it is anger, grieving, and just wanting to release, That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop healing. I'm not gonna. I did stop healing. I cut myself off from it. I cut myself off from my mom, cut myself off from sweats and everything else. And it was actually because my daughter, it was really weird. The other night, she told me she had a dream that she came to me to look for a nightgown. And she said in the dream, she asked me for a nightgown, and I didn't have one because she was going to go to a sweat. She needed to go to a sweat. So that told me that I have to get back there. And if not for myself, for my children, for my family, it's good for my family. It's hard to leave the street, The girls here, they had a vigil for our sisters who died out there. We all have our stories. It started with a woman who hugged me too, Like this woman walked by with her husband and her son. They walked by, and I watched them, in the corner of my eye. She talked to her husband for a bit, and then she came back and she said, "Can I give you a hug?" That's all she said. She hugged me. She made me cross my arms, and she hugged me. And she said, "Thank you," and walked away. It destroyed my world because she connected me to the outside world. She acknowledged me as a woman, as a human, and she didn't ignore me. That was the kicker of anything, any treatment, anything that could have happened. That was it. That's what made me want to know more. The calm before the storm. Well, I'm in the storm, and after a storm, there's always, beautiful skies. I'm sure that's what's gonna come. I hope I get there soon.